Okay, we are growing up in this fast-paced, high-tech, flip-the-channel society. And we've got such short attention spans that we're taking that to our relationships.
Yeah, it's instant intimacy, right? And so how do we...
Which there is no such thing.
Well, I know, but people try to get a shortcut, right? You got these high expectations, we're going to connect now, and somehow they think a flesh-on-flesh experience is going to make the difference. Okay, so let's talk about these expectations and jumping in early. What have you seen?
From my friends?
Sure.
Jumping in early is definitely not going to work out. Typically what happens is you become so overpowered by these early infatuations and romantic feelings that you don't even see the problems with your person until you're already so invested and so caught up in the relationship it's difficult to get out.
And I would say most people, they're not both jumping in fast-paced. There's usually one farther down the road than the other one.
Yeah, that one has expectations of, let's go here now. The other one's saying, I'm not sure, I'm not sure. But to kind of maybe keep the guy or whatever, to impress the gal, they go places that maybe weren't even ready for.
But how on earth, how do we determine what is healthy progression? Like, what really is a healthy pace of relationship?
I think the key is to not invest too much of yourself beyond what you really know about the person. So don't become so trusting before you really know them. Don't rely too much on the person before you've really taken the time and tested out certain, things about the person. Are they reliable? Can they meet my needs? Don't become so committed that you don't even really know their middle name or something like that.
Okay, no. Are you listening? Okay, she's in her 20s. I know she's getting her PhD, but this is quality. I've been doing this stuff for 30 years, trying to help college people, young singles, get this right. And the progression is simply know the person before you commit.
Okay, I want to stop for just a second on know. Give me some like pointers of how I know if I know the person.
Yeah, there are certain areas that have shown to be really predictive in research of later marital success. So get to know their family background. How do they express love in their family? How do they show power in their family? These things are going to play out in your relationship too. Get to know their conscience. Can they see your perspective? Do they understand you when you're upset? How do they handle those situations?
Okay, and you are just throwing those out like they're just these little comments and questions. Those are gargantuous.
You see how people treat the others. You see, if it's the person you're dating, you're going to go over top, just, oh, I love you, so kind, do the little gifts thing going. But you watch how they treat family members or watch how they treat other friends. Or what I've watched is I've challenged people to watch how they treat other people, say in a class or a work setting.
Strangers.
Exactly. Even. Yeah, and that tells a lot about their character.
Or even how they talk about past exes, I think, is really revealing about people. Do they trash them? Do they talk them up? Do they still have relationships with them? That says a lot about someone.
Yeah, because this is how they ended the relationship and whether they continue to respect people. I know I say to my teenage son, you better watch how you talk to me because your girlfriend is listening. Yep.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And they dangerously say sometimes you're going to marry someone like your mother.
Yes. Dangerously?
Wow. Okay. I just see if you're listening.
He should be so lucky.
Okay, there you go. There you go. That's said with confidence, I'm sure. Okay, so now we have people who are maybe getting a little fast in these relationships, but at some point there's some maybe deal breakers. I mean, how soon do you talk about past relationships? How soon do you talk about I got some addictions going on? How soon do you talk about I have a child? I mean, where do those things come into the discussion? What you found?
Yeah, I think with children is a big one. I think that's a big question a lot of people have, and really what happens when children become involved is that the partner starts to sort of court them. They become involved, and so when you have children to introduce, you have to think about how committed am I to this person? Because if they become involved, if this relationship ends, they're going to feel the effects of that breakup.
And please care enough about your kids to not introduce them so early, because then let me tell you, as a kid of a single mom, every man who walks through the door, you're hoping could be your next daddy. So you're so excited and you want to cling, and when they're just in and out, I mean, that's heartbreaking for a kid.
And listen, if you're dating a single mom, or a single dad for that matter, be careful in playing the game that I'm going to love their kid, you do that whole thing to kind of win the person over, and it really is damaging, right? What about debt? What if you're in debt? How soon do you kind of open up that, hey, I'm about 80,000 in the hole, you want to know that?
That just depends. Some people are like open books. They go on a first date and they're telling you like the skeletons in their closet. So it really does depend. The kind of thing I go by is that I don't tell anything, well, I'm sorry, I'll only ask what I'm willing to share.
that you reciprocate.
Oh, that is an excellent rule.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I think it's a progression. You know, it's successive, progressions. I'm opening up more, and it has to be appropriate to the depth of the relationship, right? And that's good. I have to be willing to tell those things, right? The closer I get to somebody, I got to reveal those things.
How can I tell? Give me some pointers of how I can tell whether I can trust this person, because that's what's going to help me start sharing more, is to know that I can actually trust them.
Well, for me, it's how they've treated you when you've given them something precious to you.
Yeah.
Have they valued you? Have they respected you? You know, your values, did they run them over, or do they give respect? Now listen, we're going to help you, because if you go to the website, marriageuncensored.com, we have the top 10 questions to ask before you throw the ring, okay? So it'll help you. Go for it right now and stay with us.